Welcome to Local Edition. I'm Brad Pomerance. Doss Williams is joining us in Sacramento today. He is a member of the California State Assembly running for the Board of Supervisors in Santa Barbara County. Sir, as you remember, in the last decade, some very aggressive legislation was passed in terms of limiting greenhouse gases. And as we speak today, there is a goal that California will try to create renewable energy to 33%
That's right.
by 2020.
That's right.
But we're looking to get even more aggressive.
We
Tell
are.
us about SB 350.
Well, I'll just first say that the governor has outlined very ambitious goals, visionary goals, that will not only make California a leader in reducing climate change, but will do so at the most crucial time. The reason why the Pope has come up with his encyclical this year, and the reason why we are pursuing this strong environmental legislation this year is because the most important international negotiation on a binding climate change treaty is this December. And so if we can pass a strong law now, one that leads, we could not only lead the country, but the world.
So we're looking to increase renewables to 50%.
That's right.
By 2030. Whether one is for or against that proposition, it does create a scenario whereby California is way out front. And while, we think California is the center of the universe, we are only 5% of the population of the United States, and let's then, multiply that to the world. And so are we really creating an impact that is worth the purported pain that would result from this shift?
Well, first of all, the strategy has worked economically for Californians. Even though Californians pay more per unit for energy than most other states, because our efficiency is so good because of these policies, we have lower bills than most other states.
Okay.
So
I understand.
Our energy is being used more efficiently, and so we're actually paying lower bills than most other states in the union, even though our energy is cleaner. Additionally, I would just say we are now the 7th largest economy in the world.
Fair.
So even though we are just a part of the country, what we do is more important than what most other nations do. And so if California makes a strong stand, it will be noticed. It will also be noticed because Governor Brown has coordinated this work with individual state governments in many other nations.
Right. Canada.
Including Canada, which has been actually one of the toughest countries to get a climate change treaty through. Most people think of China as being one of the holdouts, but Canada is one of the toughest holdouts because they make so much money off of that tar sands.
But their provincial governments, I believe, at least a couple of them are on board, no?
That's right.
Right.
And so Governor Brown has been working with several provincial governments in other countries and coordinating these goals. So in each one of these countries, there are individual state or provincial governments that are supportive of the stronger goals.
I'm wondering how a couple of factors are playing into this conversation. We hear that come winter, we could have what's known as a Godzilla El Nino. In some ways, let it be, we need the rain. But people would interpret the El Nino in ways that fit their narrative.
Right.
And so some could interpret that as meaning, oh, look, we don't have climate change, the rain came.
Yeah, problems are over.
It's all a cycle.
Whether you're talking about the drought or you're talking about the climate change, it's not going to be changed by one rainy year. The fact is that scientists say that our droughts are getting more intense, more often, and that rainfall is converting from snowpack to more rain. And that's a problem because we can capture snowpack very easily, but we cannot capture rain very easily.
But at the same time, those that are climate change skeptics seem to be becoming more entrenched in their position. And often their entrenchment occurs at the federal level, and that makes creating either national or global change more challenging. So is it worth it for us to go at it alone?
I think so. I don't think we will be alone. I think that there will be many other nations, and I know the Obama administration is being very productive and aggressive in trying to get a strong treaty. Now, the United States what they want is as many of the developing nations
Right.
also on board with a binding treaty, where what Europe wants is the largest reduction possible. Our
Right.
goal is a little bit different. We want the most countries on it,
I understand.
so it will be more enduring. Both goals are really important.
I'm wondering how the special session on transportation plays with regard to SB 350, because that is focusing on road repairs. But as you know, folks like Senator Ben Allen and other Democrats are looking to expand the conversation beyond road repairs into public transportation.
Absolutely.
Which would play
help.
into
Absolutely.
SB 350.
There's probably nothing that could help us reduce the amount of greenhouse gas emissions from our gas usage than better transit, more frequent transit. Not only will that help working class people, but increasingly young people of many different economic classes are willing to take transit, especially if it's convenient and
Right.
there is a high enough frequency of buses. All my staff take the bus. I take the bus. I'm proud of it. We have a great system in Santa Barbara. We have a system that's improving in Ventura.
Right.
And the potential to have greenhouse gas emissions from better transportation system is really, really important.
I was speaking with a Republican colleague of yours. His name is Rocky Chavez. I'll say it because he said it on the air as well. And he's actually somewhat on board with this climate change argument. And he's looking at SB 350 seriously. His concern is that hydro is not part of the renewable portfolio. And intuitively, it seems confusing as to why it wouldn't be. I know there may be reasons in terms of the burdens on different energy providers, but shouldn't hydro just kind of intuitively or theoretically be part of this mix?
Well, you know, that's the most interesting thing, is that on establishing the 50% goal on energy,
Right.
there have been not too many people against it.
Right.
Most people have been for it. The difference has been on what to count and what
Right.
not to count.
Right.
The fuel portion of SB 350 has been more controversial, with some people standing against it and some people standing for it.
Okay.
And we really can't do the best job that we could be doing on climate unless we address the transportation portion. And the fact is that there is so much that we can do as a state beyond just even reducing fuel consumption to be able to reduce emissions.
But what about hydro? Because look, you know, in Mr. Chavez's district, there is the Carlsbad desal plant, which is the largest, will be in the Western Hemisphere. In Santa Barbara, they're putting the desal plant back online. At Diablo Canyon, Cambria, all on the Central Coast. All those entities will have these desal plants that will
and they
be
can use a lot of energy.
Right, and they use a lot of energy, but they have hydro capabilities, you know, to create hydro energy. I just wonder, why can't hydro be part of the conversation?
Well, to my knowledge, because hydro is gravity-fed,
Right.
gravity-fed energy, none of the, and these desal plants are on the coast. There's no way to make energy from them. You need
No, I hear
vertical.
you. But do you think hydro will be thrown into the conversation at least?
You know, I
as
think
a renewable.
it's part of the conversation right now. It's hard for me to predict what will be included and what will not be at this juncture.
Right.
But I do think that you need a mix that means that each region of the state is helping improve the situation.
He is Doss Williams, member of the California State Assembly, candidate for Board of Supervisors in Santa Barbara County. I'm Brad Pomerance. This is Local Edition.